Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, upon us, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of earth, risking your life to do so. And this is Daniel 7. Yeah, America is this little horn. And 8, it said, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like the pure wool. So this is the image of the Heavenly Father. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came before him, from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, right? The angels, the saints, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set and the books were open. Right, when they look in the air and they see all of these different projectiles, because I keep seeing videos, and then people are saying they're AI, people are saying they're not AI. And now that you have the interwebs, you have the internet, you got all these sightings all over the earth, man, and these orbs, which the main place they see them is over Babylon. There's a little map. They had a bunch of these online. You got a lot of them in Asia, all these different places. Europe, you got a lot of them as well. All right, which all the parts of the beast. You guys are being visited. Right, Africa, which they probably don't even know about websites like this. You know, but the primarily place you see, the beast, right, and the whore. Look at this. Got a couple down here too, but mostly here. That's Puerto Rico, yeah. Yep. All right, which these entities are going to visit the earth during these times, and there's nothing you Edomites can do about it. No amount of persecution or lies or whatever witchcraft you have, it's not going to work. Right, it says, I beheld then, because the voice of the great words of the horn, of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even to the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. All right, and those other nations are still here. The Assyrio-Babylonian Empire, they're still here. Whether they be in Assyria or over, because it's a lot of mixed up people over there in the quote unquote Middle East, aka Southwestern Asia or Western Asia. All right, the Persians, right, aka the Iranians, still here. And they're in war right now. Right, which you have a lot of them over here in Babylon. A lot of them brought over here for judgment. Right, of course, you have the Greeks, so-called Edomites. Right, which, the Grecians, we know, started with Japheth, started with Jake. It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. All right, showing that these are 2 different people. Another scripture that shows the Father and the Son were 2 different people. All right, the Son of Man came before the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away. So Esau is not going to rise again to destroy, you know, after 1,000 years, that breakdown is not correct. All right, there is no private interpretation of the scriptures either. Which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Yahushua's kingdom will not be destroyed, point blank, period. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. And see, that's what's listed in the scriptures. The major rulerships. All right, the age of the Gentiles. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which were diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, with whose teeth were of iron and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue of his feet. We're talking about the Roman Empire. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Talking about America. You had all those nations of that were joined together, like those horns, and then America is an extension of that. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. And this empire is basically the Roman Empire brought back. So if we're in verse 21, the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. All right, they prevailed against us. You know, they're loose for a little season. Let's say what they spoke great words. All right, that's Esau. More stout than his fellows. All right, and all the EU nations and NATO nations that start to get pissed off because America keeps putting them in shit. Here it is. They imported all these people, including Iran and all these Middle Easterns, over into Europe to kind of copy the American style or whatever. And now America's going into war because they're backing the state of Israel. And now it's like, what the fuck? You know, then they're putting pressure on them with, look, you guys owe us more money because this is America. All right, to the point where they're gonna decide, oh shit, we're gonna shoot missiles on this, but fuck that, fuck this place. Even though we made a lot of money there, these people are no. All right, we're coming to that point. We're coming to that point. We're seeing, because the scriptures talk about that, being ashamed of. You get that. Yes, Sirach 41:18. Things to be ashamed of. This is of an offense before a judge and ruler, of iniquity before congregation and people, of unjust dealing before your partner and friend. All right, and that's exactly why you have to get away from these people, man. Sirach 7:2. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from you. These people are unjust. Let's say, though, unjust dealings and riches got by deceit. I think that might be in Proverbs. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. You know what? It's unrighteous dealings. Excuse me. Unrighteous dealings. Sirach 10. And riches gotten by deceit. All right, but it tells you that judge me, O power, Psalms 43:1, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. Let me see. Unjust. I will. Injustice, unrighteousness, wrong, violent deeds of injustice, iniquity, wicked. Yeah. These are as many synonyms for the wicked. Yeah, Proverbs 11:7. When a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of the unjust man perisheth. All right, and that's what has to happen, because their expectation is to rule forever. The inward thought is that their kingdom will go on forever, that their kids will be set up, and their children will be set up, and their children will be set up in this ungodly rulership, and it's not going to happen. All right, Proverbs 29:27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way of abomination, in the way is abomination to the wicked. So as long as we're on the scene and they're on the scene, it's always going to be opposition. And they're always going to come for our heads. They're also always going to try to put lies and falsify what we're saying. All right, and they're going to come. That's why I said they made war against the saints. All right, and our people they want to be here forever. Well, that's okay. Master just beat on me a little bit. No, man. You gotta get the fuck away from these people, man. They have to be taken down. That's just how it's gotta go. Nobody has went to jail for this Epstein shit. Nobody. And then look at all these people in these high positions that were caught up in this shit, man. Billionaires. People who own the media. People who own this mega corporation. Everything we're doing now, man, is owned by mega corporations. All the days of the mom and pop chain, where you start up a chain, the McDonald's and that shit done, man. You get 1, 2 restaurants, 3 restaurants, 4, 10, they buying you out. Okay, what did he say on The Godfather? He said, "Is my credit good enough to buy you out?" Yeah, you don't run this town. We buy you out. All right, and our people should be calling upon Yahweh Bashim Awashai every day. All right, but all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Hey, they're setting up data centers right now, all around where I'm at, and I know all around the country. The data centers are being set up. The infrastructure is being laid. Everything is digital. Like, what more do you need to see? All right, a trap is being made set, but Esau's gonna fall into it. But the wicked is gonna fall into it. So you following them, say the help and the hoping. All right, but call Loyam Lai, how about Shema Bashai for the ones who take heed of the vision. Shalom.